Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have been offline for over a year on my tarot readings here. I've been doing other work, mainly in running events and ecstatic dance, facilitation and DJing. So I've been off doing that, but I'm feeling to do some more readings. I'm really missing doing readings actually, and so I'm going to bring back my channel on quite a light level, and I think I'm going to do maybe like one reading a week, and it's just going to be a collective message for now, because that feels manageable for me, right? To be able to do one reading a week, I can do that and I can commit to that. So that's what I'm going to do. And so what I've got is just a selection of cards I've shuffled, and I've just spread them all out in front of me, and I'm just going to do an intuitive reading and just let you know what comes through. So the main decks I'm using are the Crystal Mandala with Alana Fairchild, Carl Gray's Keepers of Lights, the Vice Versa Tarot. I've also got Teal Swan's Blind Spot cards. I don't know these ones yet, so I might refer to the book with these. And then I'm also using, I don't have the box anymore for this. These are like my first ever Oracle cards I got, and I think they're Diana Cooper Angel cards, something like one of the really early decks. They're like 20 or more years old, I think. Beautiful, beautiful messages. So I'm going to be using these and see what comes through for you. So thank you to everyone who supported me over the time when I have been doing readings, and welcome back any of you, and welcome to any new people as well. And if you like my style and my messages, then you can subscribe to my channel clicking below and press the bell button if you want to get notifications for any new videos. Okay, I'm going to do a reading now. Okay. So the main message that's coming through, it's like a big transformation, okay, and change. So what you might be feeling is that you are particularly sensitive at the moment, that things are changing, or that you are changing, and the way you're relating to your experiences and what's going on in your reality is transforming. And that's because you are changing on the inside, and you're starting to feel different things when you experience situations and people. It could be food, it could be anything you're kind of consuming, like music you're listening to, things you're watching, people you're talking to, places you're going. You might be experiencing them all in a different way, and it can be very, very subtle. Like something just feels a little bit different, and I feel like it's really important that you pay attention to when those things feel different, because you are having a different experience, and there's like messages coming through, like your body is delivering messages to you about what you're experiencing. So it might be that you are feeling like different about for example, a particular cafe you go to, and you're feeling like maybe more comfortable in a certain area of the cafe. Like it just feels good to sit over there, or it feels good to have this particular drink, or it feels good to have a conversation, or maybe it feels good not to have a conversation, or to sit, somewhere. It might feel better to kind of change where you are, or change your experience there, or actually to go less often, or whatever it is. It can be like these really subtle things that you feel like are different, and it's because you're changing. And those changes, although they might feel small, they're actually quite significant, because they have a ripple effect. And you starting to listen and pay attention to those changes means that you are creating a ripple effect in your life, that you are starting to make different choices in your life. And that can start with where you sit in a cafe. that you then start to develop this sensitivity to, where do I want to spend my time? Who do I want to spend my time with? How do I allocate the energy that I have, with my capacity in my life? How do I go to places or spend time with people that nourish me and make me feel fulfilled and supported, as opposed to the places where it may be habitual to go to. You may have been going to the same cafe for 20 years, but it doesn't serve you anymore. And it's like those kind of changes that you're becoming aware of. Food, really important, the kind of food you're eating. Maybe you're, buying your oranges at the local supermarket and you're like, do you know what? I can't taste it. I can't taste the orange in this orange. And those things are important. There's not like, oh, that's, those oranges aren't so good. That's significant. Why can't you taste the orange? Maybe it's because the orange hasn't been fully ripened, right? Oranges get picked before they're fully ripe. And so they don't have the full vitamin C content because they're artificially ripened. So you're actually noticing something that's really real and really true, right? These oranges actually are not like giving me the vitamins and nutrients that I need. And maybe I will buy something else that's high in vitamin C and I'll get some peppers or something else instead, or maybe I'll get my oranges somewhere else. Really pay attention to these things, and it's going to create actually quite a big, like, dramatic change in your life when you really start to pay attention to these sensitivities. Like it's going to, like, it just transforms everything. This is from my own experience, right? You just make one change and then huge things can happen because of that. And you didn't even know that was going to happen. You had no expectation, but it can completely transform your life. Butterfly effect, right? And so as these things transform, it's like your inner world, it's like you're paying attention to your inner world and you're really valuing and giving importance to your experience and your inner experience, and not expectation, not following the crowd or following habits or following just a normal path, like the normal path, but you're creating your own personal revolution. And alongside this is the importance of really being authentic with yourself and with your experience. So it's really honoring the truth of who you are and what's happening inside. And when we don't pay attention to those things, it's like we suppress our truth and we suppress our voice and we suppress what it is we really want and our desires. So it's allowing space for that truth to emerge, speaking with your truth, following your truth. And you can do it little by little. And as you pay attention and move through those changes, you'll start releasing things that no longer are a match for you. It's like when you hold on to patterns, hold on to habits, hold on to food or people, you're only ever going to keep creating those kind of experiences. So when you start making the changes, that's how it transforms, because you're creating a new vibration, a new alignment, and then things are going to come in on that alignment. Get some more on this. Giving yourself time to reflect and contemplate what it is you are experiencing. It's like giving yourself this space to be kind of quieter. It's like when you're quieter, when your mind is quieter and you give yourself, like, you slow down and you pause, that's when you can hear this information. So if you want to hear it more and tune in more, slow down. Just slow down your life and give space for reflection but also for asking. Like, when you start to acknowledge the differences you want to make, really ask for those. You can ask for those differences to be shown to you. Like, if you want to hear it more or you're not hearing it, I want to know what is really serving me, what really serves me, and I want to make better choices. Make prayers, offer prayers to receive those, and make space for reflection and contemplation on what it is you truly want. It's like a cycle, right? The more you listen, the more you'll understand. And you might feel at first you don't really know, or it's hard to really know what it is you want, or what changes to make. So go with small things and ask for support, ask for help from God, from the angels, from any guide that you resonate with. Ask to be shown in nature, ask to be shown what resonates with me, what do I want to bring more of into my life, and ask to see it and experience it. Move with that. You can't do this without taking action. You know, some people want change in their life or want things to transform, but unless you actually act on it, it's not going to. There's different stages of thinking, in your mind, deciding what it is you want to do or how things should be or what you're understanding. There's the feeling, that kind of motivation that comes from your felt emotional experience that moves you to do something. And then there's taking the action, actually doing something. And you're responsible for all of those. And people can get into a place where they think, well, I'll think about the thing and I'll feel it and it will just happen. But you also have to take the action. You do have to make those things come into your experience. You've got to meet it halfway. So if you're feeling, I want to connect with new people, I want to connect with a new community, and you can think about that and feel how great it would be to meet people and to go out with like different people or go to different things. And then you might get an invitation. You've got to take that invitation. You've got to go to that place, and that can be really challenging. And you can get stuck at that point. But if you don't act on the offer, then you're going to stay in that feeling state. You're going to stay in that thinking state. This is like walk your talk. Really embody what it is that you're moving towards in that creation. Okay, this is exciting, right? Because then you get into a state of being surprised by life. When you start to transform and change internally, then the outside life can bring you opportunities and experiences that you never thought would happen. And things really move and shift when you're bringing the vibration and the energy to it. It's like the more you put into something, the more you get out. And there's different ways to put things in. But if you're only putting in mental or emotional energy, that you're going to receive a mental emotional energy. When you move your body with it, then the earth moves. You can think of it like this, when you move your mind and your emotion, it's like the spirit moves, the air moves, the waters move. But when you move your body, the earth moves. You don't need to always know the hows things will change, how they will change, the how you can transform, or what even it will come in, like what will come in when you make these changes. Just allowing yourself to be surprised, allowing yourself to feel an unfoldment and be open to what happens. And then when you start to experience different things coming into your life, feel the energy of that, feel the experience of that. And it might feel uncomfortable or scary because it's new. It's a new energy, a new vibration. You're calling something new into your life. And so don't rush to respond to it. Allow yourself time to feel it. And then when you've leveled with that feeling, when you've kind of integrated with that feeling, then you can start moving with it. That's especially true with very new things, very transformative things. Some things will come in and it feels just natural. It feels like, of course I'm, meant to get this job offer. That was always going to happen, and it can feel really natural. But then sometimes things can feel different, unnatural, scary, because they're new. But just have faith, have trust that as you're creating new things, you're bringing those things in, and what's coming in, you don't know where it's going to lead or what's going to unfold. So take risks, be flexible, allow yourself to be moved. Okay, I'm going to pick a few tarot now. Be patient. Yeah. So have patience with yourself, because changes don't necessarily happen overnight. Give yourself time to feel and balance your emotion. Come into a really pure state. And this can be through any kind of spiritual and movement practice. Connecting with water, cleansing yourself in salt baths or the sea. Allowing your emotions to move slowly but subtly. Because you may see things or start to understand things that kind of flip your reality or change your experience of the world, or of your world, of who you are. And when you give yourself time and peace just to observe and be with that, not moving or acting on it, just really observing, okay, this is where I am, or this is who I am. Give yourself pace and time with it. Communication, go slow with communication. There may be, you may be dealing with someone who feels stuck. You may have to be patient with them because there's someone in your life who's trying to work things out, and they may feel that while they're working things out, they can't move, they can't take any action. So there may be someone in your life who's not moving. They feel kind of trapped. And what you need to do is just stay in alignment and just be patient. Just be with yourself. Because that person, they may have something else, some kind of battle they're kind of fighting, inside or outside, but there could be some kind of storm in their life. And it's they've got to put their energy into kind of sorting that and experiencing that. And so they're not really looking, focusing. It's like they can see you, but they're not taking any movement or action. Because someone's away. It's like someone's off doing something. Someone's um, charging off like somewhere else, dealing with something else. It's like they're in their own personal storm, chaos, craziness. So to you, they may appear like still or stuck, or whatever, but actually they're off doing something. They could be wounded or ill. A lot of uh, painful thoughts and memories they're dealing with. Like they feel quite. There's someone who feels just quite like they've been going through it a long time and they're exhausted. It's like they're nearly at the end of this battle. They're doing really well. This is like a personal inner journey, like someone's just in their personal inner journey, and they've kind of really been through the wars. Wow. Yeah. It's like you're in like quite a powerful place right now. You're in a I can't even tell if this is a king or a queen actually. I like that. It's I haven't really been showing you the cards, but this androgynous non-binary person is in their throne, in their clarity, and in their I mean, there may be like some clarity close by, but it may seem like there's a fog around you, like you can't really see what's next, what's going to happen next, or what's happening in the world, or there's just like some kind of confusion on an external level. But like here, like when you're just like still with yourself, it's like I know what I want in this moment. I know what I want where I am, and I'm sticking with that. I'm not going to move from this place of real clarity with myself. Because in this place, this is where you're creating magic. This is where you're manifesting and bringing in these surprises. It's what it feels like with this comet. I just watched Don't Look Up. You're in your truth of your reality. And this is the important thing, is just to stay in alignment with yourself and your truth, to stay grounded. Like check yourself, like really checking in with your body. Is this really true? And not kind of getting like running off in like some kind of debate or fantasy, whatever it is, just being really clear and taking clear, precise action. You're really in a very like clear and stable state, really. You might be feeling a bit emotional, you might be feeling like it's a bit foggy, or like anything could happen. But you're in quite a strong place, and there's someone else in your life who's really struggling. I think the important thing for you right now is just to focus on the truth of who you are and of where you are, and just let whatever situation is going on with the person in your life who's struggling, just to let that be. Not to You don't need to go to their rescue. You don't need to do anything for them. You just allow them to be in their experience and just stay in your truth. Like stay in your grounded and centered place, and focus on receiving from there. Okay, I'm going to do one of the Teal Swan cards. Oh, number 1. Okay, I don't even remember what number 1 was. I think I put the book. Okay, number 1. So these are called the blind spot oracle cards. So it's basically looking into what you may not be seeing about your experience, your life. So number 1 is your fear. If you've drawn this sigil, I'm going to hold it up because the symbols are quite powerful, just to meditate on. If you've drawn this sigil, the thing preventing you from clearly seeing the reality of the situation at hand is your own fear. By its very nature, to fear is to push something or someone away from you. This is why fear is the number one most isolating experience on the planet. The more fearful we are, the more alone we are. It's important that we come to recognize what all our fears are about in order to both understand our reaction and choose how to respond to our fear. Fear can be defined as a response to a perceived threat. When we perceive something to be a danger to us, meaning that we perceive the possibility of suffering, harm, injury on a physical, mental, or emotional level, then of course we naturally want to get away from it. Usually we want either to push it away, which would be fighting it, or we want to run away from it. Even if we grow up in loving environments, we inherit fear and the belief that we are not able to deal with certain things. We adopt feelings of powerlessness and inadequacy without questioning them, and we adopt the inevitable fear that comes as a result of it. Unfortunately, the primary ways that we cover up our fears are through avoidance and control. Interestingly, it doesn't matter whether the threat we are perceiving is really a threat to us or not. What matters is if we perceive it to be a threat. Unless we feel safe in a given situation or with a given person, we will naturally push that situation or that person away from us. People who spend their life avoiding the feeling of fear never really live. They wander through life in a routine and familiar way only to arrive at death safely. People who live their life in spite of fear don't listen to the important messages encoded in their fear. They ignore limits and warning signs and do not look after themselves. And this ultimately leads to suffering and collapse. Our life depends on our capacity to lovingly take responsibility for our fear. Trying to conquer fear or get rid of fear is nothing more than trying to separate yourself from separation itself. Remember, the opposite of fear is love. Any love you can have towards anything diminishes your fear, but the ultimate answer to fear is to love the self within you that is afraid, and love the self within you that you are most afraid of. It's by embracing fear itself that we dissolve fear. If you have drawn this sigil, the unacknowledged threat is not something you don't see about the situation itself or someone involved in it. It is your own tendency to sabotage a good thing because of fear. Right now, you're using the tool of worry and expecting the worst to prevent yourself from being blindsided. It is a way to control the situation, which is a way of avoiding your fear. Instead of avoiding your fear, you need to face it. Otherwise, your fear will continue to obscure your capacity to see the truth of this situation, which isn't a bad truth. Okay, so this is these cards. We have the Ace of Swords and the Empress here. So I think this is what this is saying about these cards, is that when you accept and see the truth, then you can stay in your alignment. And this is what I was feeling with this situation that's going on. So it's not running away from the situation or person. It's not trying to control it or fix it, but accepting the truth about it, or the truth of how it is, that it is how it is, and then looking at this truth, this fear, any fear that may be inside yourself regarding the situation, and to work with that. Because you may have stories or fears built up around what's going on that aren't true. Okay, I love these teal swan cards. I think they're beautiful. They're really beautiful. Okay, I'm feeling to leave it here. If there's anything, any questions you have, you can drop a comment in the box below, or if you want to share how it's relating to you. I'm going to show you some of the cards now so you can get your own information or reading from the pictures. I'm feeling not to share too much of the pictures like initially, so that it's more of an intuitive read, like you're kind of just experiencing the energy and the words from the reading, and then I'll show you more. And not jumping to conclusions before you see or feel something, which is how I'm trying to read, just read more intuitively. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. I'm going to show the cards now for those who want to stay. So for the first card was sensitivity. This is from the Crystal Mandala deck, Sacred Revolution, and Authentic Voice. We then had Charity, Prayer and Contemplation, and Commander Ashtar, Call to Action. We then had Temperance, and Hangman. And Knight of Wands. Clarifying that, we had the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords. And clarifying Temperance, we had the King or Queen of Swords and the Magician. And then we had the Empress and the Ace of Swords, which you saw. We also had Flexibility and the Vortex come up. I am free and flexible. And this one, which you've seen already. Okay, thank you so much. Lots of love. Bye.